All right, all right. Represent your city, represent your city. We got Union, New Jersey in the building with the beautiful and lovely Love Wisdom. We got Alexis in the building. We have Oakland, California in the house, Indianapolis in the building, Union, New Jersey in the building. We have Los Angeles in the house, London in the house, Austin, Texas, Naptown in the building. I might double up because it's coming in fast, coming in hot. Oakland in the building. Indianapolis is in the house. New Jersey's in the building. San Jose is here. We have South Carolina. We have Richmond in the building. We have Greensboro here. Of course, I'm representing Chicago. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Everybody on X too. I see all my people over on X. We have Dallas in the house, hard-working man, making sure people get to where they have to go. We have Buffalo, New York in the building. And here we go. We have ATL in the building. We have Washington, D.C. in the house. We have Pittsburgh in the building. We got Lawnside here. We got the whole world checking in. That's a beautiful thing, beautiful thing, beautiful thing. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're eating better. Exercise, do a little workout. Try to eat better. Try to, 2026. The goal is to be here for 2027. Okay? Go focus. Make sure you're here in 2027. And it's good to see everyone. So this is kind of like an update. I have spoke on this about 4 times. I seen all of this from when the migrants first got here and they arrived in Chicago. I think after about 3 or 4 months, I began to see what was going on. I'm going to go back through the whole process on what's going on. I'm also going to show you all how I was able to see what was going on and how I think. Right? And so I knew that they were going to go down there and take Venezuela from them. I knew this right off the top. And I knew that they were going to send the Venezuelans back. The plan was to take Venezuela, bring the Venezuelans up, take Venezuela, send them back. Send them back to work for the United States. So now the Venezuelans will be in Venezuela working for the United States government, just like I told you. Trump made an announcement, say, we are going to run Venezuela. Now, one way I'd be able to figure these things out is I just look at everything and I don't try to come up with any conclusions. I let everything fall into place. Now, believe it or not, the key for me to know this was going to happen was actually what was going on in the U.S. At the time all these Venezuelans was up here, 2 years in a row in California, we had problems with the almonds. So, we had problems with the almonds. In Georgia last year, it got warm early. The peach crop began to make peaches early. And then it got back cold and it wiped out 80% of the peach crop. And so to figure these kind of things up, you got to have your antennas up and you got to be analytical and you can't be stuck on a concept. You have to be kind of open. Now, another thing I notice is something personal. At least 3 or 4 times a year, I buy a Ocean Spray 100% cranberry juice. So last year, I think it was in a Walgreens, I grab a cranberry juice. It says real cranberry juice, but I noticed it didn't say 100%. So I looked and it was cut. I said, oh, they probably don't have the one I buy in stock. Weeks go by, it's still not in stock. Which that's not. Say, hey, where's the 100% cranberry juice? Of course, you want to seek knowledge? I go Google it. Cranberry crop. Oh, the cranberry crop got damaged. Still today, there is no 100% Ocean Spray cranberry juice because they don't have enough cranberries. So I was studying the migrant situation, and I wanted to do a live on the migrant situation. And I had to pull up pictures for useful examples. And I pulled up this picture. This was not in 2025. I think this was 2024, the end of 2024. I pulled up this picture. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm saying, this is when I'm realizing that they had people down in South America playing radio messages. They had signs and they had all type of advertisement telling the people of Venezuela to come to America. Yes. Yes, this was rumored. And the second half of 2024, when they first was coming, which I think was 2024, it was rumored that there were advertisements and commercials and signs telling them to come to America. So I pulled up this picture. Now I'm very analytical. So I'm looking at all these people, and I lived in Hawaii for some years. So from living in Hawaii on the Big Island, in the mountains, in nature, I couldn't help but look to the left and look to the right, and I seen the palm trees and the banana trees. I recognized the banana trees. And as I'm looking, I'm saying, wow, it's plush. Wow. It's plush down there. You could grow a lot of food down there. Everything ain't clicked yet, so you could grow a lot of food down there. So I started saying, what the hell are they coming up here for? I'm like, they got plenty land. They got plenty food. So you're going to come up here to go to the store to get food? So I start putting two and two together. And I said, oh my God, they're going to take their land. They're going to take that land because I'm looking at the land and I'm saying, hey, I don't know why you coming this way because they sure want what you got that way. If you know anything about business, if you know anything about agriculture. And so I started to put two and two together. That America, because of Mother Nature, because of the environment, because of all their electronics and all their junk, the environment is acting up. So you have to listen close to be able to ride with what I'm presenting to the public. So my conclusion was, let's say I need 100 million bushels of fruits and stuff to be able to provide the food that I need in the stores to make my money. I need 100 million bushels. But Mother Nature is wiping out half. So I'm not getting nothing but 50. So Mother Nature all around the world is acting a fool. I'm planting 200 to get 100. But when I plant the 200, I'm only getting 50. But I absolutely need 100. So now to get 100, I got to plant 400. You understand? I have to find more places to grow more food to offset the tornadoes, the floods, the hurricanes. So I could still get my 100 million bushels. I need more land. I'm losing my almonds in California. I'm losing my peaches in Georgia. I got floods in America. And the United States is not that big. It's only 300 million, 360 million people. It's not a country that's got a billion people like Africa and India and stuff like that. It's small. I gotta find somewhere to grow some more food. I'm growing some food in Mexico. But I need to grow more food there too. So me being in the United States, Uncle Sam, I'm a gangster. My name is Uncle Sam. These cartels down here growing this stuff and setting up this fentanyl. I'm gonna have to take that land from them because I can get more money with peaches and watermelons and stuff than I can get with coca. The coke got to go. That ain't no money. I can make more money off avocado than I can make off coca. I can make more money off strawberries, raspberries, grapes. I could be selling wine. That ain't no money. They got to go. Yeah, they got to go. Okay, but now the Mexican cartels, they didn't got so big, they plugged all the way to Brazil. They plugged all the way to the bottom of South America. The Mexican cartels then took over. Militarily, I'm the United States here. Here's Mexico. Here's South America. I'm going to have to sandwich them. I'm going to have to sandwich them in. That's what I'm going to have to do. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to sandwich them in. So I said, well, okay. They got all this land. They got all this greenery. So the United States plan is to open up the border, bring the Venezuelans this way. Everybody was saying, check what they were saying. What was they saying about the Venezuelan men? They said they're military age. Right? They know that. So I get a lot of their military age men coming this way. We go that way. We attack Venezuela. Their military men won't be back yet. We'll be on their way sending them back because 2 million have left here. The most dangerous ones, ICE grabbed them. They didn't tell you that part. The ones they felt had the most military capabilities, they grabbed them. So they're not back home to join the military. So the military couldn't get no recruits because they had too many men that came north. So we know what's up. They go that way. To take all this beautiful, beautiful land. And then you send the Venezuelans back home. When the Venezuelans get back home, it's not home no more. I own it. But I built y'all some nice little places to live. Right next to the Chiquita bananas. Right next to the sun-kissed oranges. Right next to Blue Diamond. And this is what we can do. You Venezuelans can go home. We got great jobs for you there at Venezuelan prices. You have a nice little place to live. And we got jobs for you right there in your homeland. I mean, it's not your homeland anymore, but that's where that's what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? No, I understand it's not your homeland no more. We run it now. But you will still be back in your environment. And we got jobs for you. You can pick these bananas, these oranges, these almonds, the guavas. Yeah, that's the play. That's the play. So we get the farmland. Not only do we get the farmland, we get the main prize. Whoop, 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 whoop. Now we own the most oil in the world. So now we can get real funky with the Muslims. We can get real funky with Saudi Arabia and Iran now. Yeah, we don't need you no more now, Mr. Cheek. So what y'all want to do? You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about assalamu alaikum, but I still like my bacon. You know? So the Saudis and Iran is in trouble because once America get the most oil, they don't need you no more. They don't need you no more. It was nice. It was nice. But now we got more oil than you. So this what we gonna do. This what we gonna do to the Saudis. When y'all come over here, put some suits on. Come over here. Don't come over here dressed like that. When you come over here, you know, yeah, when you come over here, and you could take your oil and stick it where the sun don't shine. Yeah, you could keep your oil, punk. Yeah, yeah. Things change. Yeah. Things change. Things change. You keep your oil. Now you need to get your little terrorists in order. You need to holler at Iran. We got Iraq already, and we'll sick them on you. So you need to get your little tyrants and start together. Because we don't need your oil no more. Trust me, Saudi Arabia's having big meetings right now. Because their oil prices is plummeting Monday. Okay? Yeah, Saudi oil prices, it's a risen app. It's a wrap. Okay? It is a wrap. It's a wrap. So we don't got to play. We know y'all got the madrasas, and we know y'all teaching them people to hate Americans. Because this is what the Saudis was doing in the back, sending the money to madrasas, teaching them to hate Americans. Because this is what bin Laden was mad at Saudi Arabia, right? Those that study history can ride with me. Those that don't, listen. Remember, why did bin Laden fall out with his daddy and the Saudis? His daddy was like the number 2 man because he's saying, y'all teaching our youth to hate the Americans, but y'all the ones selling the Americans oil for their military. Y'all the ones supplying the tanks and the jets and everything to destroy our people. Y'all some hypocrites. This is what was going on over there. Because you got to understand the bin Laden family was one of the biggest families in Saudi Arabia. Bin Laden daddy built everything. He was the main construction person in Saudi Arabia. He was high ranking. Bin Laden went against his daddy. Because he said, y'all over here teaching our youth in the madrasas to hate Americans while y'all doing business with the Americans. This is some hypocrite stuff. So America know that too. America know that the Saudis been behind the terrorism. Where they getting the money at to be terrorists? So America had to play the game because the USA was way down at the bottom with oil, number 74. Well, now America's number 377. Okay. Now we have 377 oil reserves. When you add our 74 with y'all 303. You know what I'm saying? We done caved up. You know what I'm saying? We done caved up. Now, I know y'all ain't gonna like this. Because people have said, what about other countries? What about them? They'll get did dirty. Because the United States already know. If you get on our nerve, we'll send black people over there. We'll pay black men. They'll come over there and tear your whole country up. Y'all seen how they did y'all? You know what I'm saying? They already know. We put a big bag up, a big signing bonus to join the military, and sign up all these goons and all these savages and all these demons we got, and we'll send them over here there. Do y'all dirty. Y'all ain't built like that. Y'all ain't built like that. Y'all ain't got the money. Y'all can't make the weapons as quick as we can, or nothing. So this guy, when he synced all that military power, surround the whole bottom of Venezuela, yeah, he surrendered. America, if this is a dollar, if this is a dollar, this is how much go to the military. This how much they spend for the country, for everything else. And this would go on the military. So the USA functions, and this is how the streets, that's how we learn how to function in the United States. You buy cars, we buy guns. You buy more cars, we buy more guns. We get our guns, we take your cars. Get out that car. Shut up! You know, basically. You know what I'm saying? We buy guns. We do gunplay in the United States. We do guns. We do weapons. We do weapons in the United States. It's the American way. I represent the American way. I've had a couple people want to beef with me on social media. I don't be beefing on social media. I'll just be like, whatever, you know. You beef it, you know. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, whatever, you know. I'm not beefing with you. You know, holler at me when you see me. I'm not little Dirk, big Dirk. You know, I'm not incriminating myself out here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what do you want me to say? You know, I can't say nothing. I cannot say to you what I want to say to you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I had dudes on the internet. Ooh, I like, hey, dude, you win. I can't say nothing. So on the internet with the jib jabbing, what you want me to say? You know, you got me. You know what I'm saying? I can't say what I want to say to you. You know what I'm saying? So you win. It's the American way. So while he was down there playing, they got ships and military, and they surrounded it, and they ramped up on him. They ramped up on him. And he did right. He turned himself in because he had two choices: turn himself in or get turned over. He only had so much time to turn himself in. Oh, he was going in a body bag. Yeah. So now they take him time and put him in a room, and he tell him, where's the money? Where's your money? With the screen there, you can see his wife in the other room. They tell him how lovely she is. You've been with her a long time. You know the CIA and them, they ugly. Y'all got married April, so and so, so and so. Your two lovely children. You know your grandma and your uncle over here. You know what I'm saying? That's so gangster, boy. That gonna scare the hell out of his ass. He don't even. He have no clue what's finna happen. He think it's Trump. No, the dudes you finna see, not Trump. You finna see the real Goonie Goons, bro. Where you had the money at? Where's your money that you hid? Where's the gold? Because you know he got gold bars. They want that gold. They want that gold. So they took him alive. And they going down there and they gonna take that and they gonna send the Venezuelans back down there, just like I've been told y'all. They gonna send them back home. They already on their way. Oh, it was planned perfect. They already on their way back to work for the U.S. in Venezuela. Trump said we're gonna run Venezuela. What he said? He said we are going to run Venezuela because the plan is to take Canada and all of it. They don't want to be the United States no more. They want to be America. They want to be America. All of this. They just got one little patch right here on top of South America that's got a bunch of swamps and stuff where trucks and stuff can't drive. As soon as they get through with this dirty work with the cartels and the Venezuelans and all that, they're going to take big construction crew in there. They're going to get rid of all them swamps and they're going to make it so you could drive from the tip to the top. Why you think they put the tariffs on Canada? They finna gangster Canada too. Canada finna be a part of America. And you ain't getting ready to be Canada no more. They want to take this whole thing because they feel like the only way they can compete with China is they need more land. America got to be bigger to be able to compete with India and China and Africa. This little part here that says the United States, what you know as the United States up there, is not big enough. It's not big enough for them to go to war. Now they'll be able to have all them South Americans a part of the American military. Yeah, it's going to be the American military. That's what it's going to be. But the first thing they got to do, they doing now. The second thing they got to do, Lindsey Graham already told you. This is step A. Step B, they finna go in and wipe out the cartels. The cartels are done. Starting today, they're finished. They're finished. The cartels are finished. Done. Lindsey Graham and them have put up a plan to create drones just for the cartels. There'll be like two sets of drones. There'll be one set of drones that go and find out where you're at. This is the ones, the locators. And they will go in the jungles and then they will locate. Right? Once they locate you, then they put your location. All they gotta do is put everybody's location into the thing. And all they gotta do is push send. And the drones millions of them. They could send 100,000 drones. You in the bushes cooking that stuff, drone come, boom, drone come, boom, drone come, boom, drone come, boom. Out of there. They're gonna send drones. They're gonna send the drones into them jungles. You're gonna be in the jungle, the little thing gonna come, zzz, boom. Like, dang. They got these drones now where they can program them, and the drones will go in the sky and make a big eagle that fly out of thousands of drones. They got them programmed that good. They dropping packages off. You can get your food. People already getting their food. They come to your address. They come to your backyard. They lower the package and drop it in your backyard. They got them drones ready, and they already got this already ready to go. They just didn't want to go until they shut down Venezuela because they want to surround the cartels. They want to be on the south and north of you. Now you sandwiched in the middle. You understand? And they got trained mercenaries to come behind the drones. I've been telling my subscribers this if you're new to the channel. They've been training to come into there. And the way America work is they'll send your own people. That's the American way. America will send your own people to come get you. These are facts. So they got the program for that too. They have the whole program ready to send them to fight against themselves. These are facts. They got that already together. They ready to recruit them and send them to fight their own people. They're going to enlist them into the military. Real talk. They're gonna enlist them into the military. These are facts. They're already working on it. Those that because a lot of the ICE agent wasn't white. It was foreigners. It was foreigners. It was foreign ICE agents. I don't know. This is why they had their faces covered up. They knew Americans would have had a fit. A lot of them ICE agents was Asians and Hispanics. Did y'all know that? You know what the courage to serve is? You want to get citizenship? Get in the military. Get in the military. Why didn't the Chinese get involved? What do they care? The Chinese don't care. The Chinese don't care. They don't care. China don't function like that. China functioned on China. So, China only deals with China. They didn't leave them out to dry. The Chinese don't do that. The ideology in China is mind China's business. China just minds China's business. China don't mind nobody else's business. If you're not invaded China, then it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, whoever got the oil, China gonna buy it from whoever got it. They don't care. So why would they spend a lot of military money when they could just that same money they could just buy the oil? The Chinese is smart. Listen, look at this. America just took Venezuela, right? Who China finna go holler at for oil? Saudi Arabia. See what I'm saying? Saudi Arabia gonna lose business from America because they got Venezuela. China gonna do what? Go holler at who? Who China gonna? China's gangsters, man. China's gonna say the Saudis losing money. The Chinese will be meeting with the Saudis this week. Hey, we'll take up that extra slack. We see America's probably not gonna be spending as much with who. You know what I'm saying? We can buy how much would you selling the Americans? All right, we'll take that. We'll take double that. Yeah, we'll take double that. As a matter of fact, we like it. We'll take triple. The Chinese is ruthless, man. The Chinese is ruthless. They're the most ruthless ones. Yeah, West Africa's out of here. Nigeria, Burkina, all that. I told y'all stay y'all ass out of Africa. Africa gonna get invaded. Listen, man. Look, black man, listen to me. When it comes to taking care of your health, you want to think positive. When it comes to what your goals in life, you want to think positive. But when it comes to politics in the world, you got to be realistic. You, you can't deal with the world on no positive thinking shit. That's why I don't really be dealing with Pan Africans and that. That's a make believe. They live in a make believe world. All Pan, no African. You ain't nothing if you ain't got no guns. You know what I'm saying? So just play your lane. If you ain't nothing, if you can't bust that thing, then sit down. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. If you can't bust that gun, then stop playing and doing make believe. Cause these people not playing, they busting that gun. This the gun. They surrounded the whole bottom part of that country. They surrounded the whole bottom of South America with like 30, 40 ships. battleships with nuclear weapons on them, with jets on them, with tanks on them. They got a whole military on water, flanked by the Air Force. They went in there, bow, 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 helicopters everywhere, jets flying over, boom, and didn't even hit them hard. Because they say, don't blow up the oil. Don't blow up the oil. Don't blow up the oil, and don't hurt too many people because they work for us now. Trump said, we're going to run it. No. The Somali fraud ain't got nothing to do with West Africa. We talking about West Africa. The Somali fraud, they ain't worried about that. They're just going to kick them out. And they're just going to do some diplomatic stuff, and the Somalian government going to pay. No, we talking about they going to invade West Africa because dude in Burkina. Yeah. I had a lot of people, they wanted me to cheer for dude. But I was like, dude, I couldn't really cheer for him. I couldn't really cheer for him because I respect what he's trying to do, but what you want me to do? I've seen this movie already, and this is what's wrong with a lot of young black brothers. You just keep watching the same movie, and then you try to keep dreaming for a different ending to the same damn movie. We've seen this movie how many times? Dude out there in Burkina ain't got no military like that. They're going to dog walk him. So just because he's doing great things, that's one thing. But that don't mean he's finna win. Ram, I'm going to put it to you like this. What's going to happen when the FBI kick your door in? I'm just saying. I don't know why you want me to get my door kicked in like yours going to get kicked in. What you going to do when they go get this IP address and do you dirty over here typing reckless? That's what I'm trying to teach my audience. You know they know where you at. So as far as I'm concerned, to the United States government, the CIA, all of them, I don't got nothing to do with what dude talking about. You know what I'm saying? My name Wes. I am not in that mess. I am not going to be over here saying no anti-United States propaganda, period. I don't condone none of that. I'm in the United States. I don't talk no anti-United States, nothing. Plus, on the revolutionary side, if you're in the United States and you talk about somebody come blowing you and your mom up, you's a goofy. Because I'm in Chicago. So my response ain't nobody gonna do shit. Why would I cheer for somebody to come blow Chicago up? Sometime y'all be saying some stupid shit. Sometime y'all be talking crazy. Military and revolutionaries, it's all about self-preservation. I'm in the United States. Fuck everybody else but the United States. I'm going to just keep it real. The hell with Venezuela and all of them. America's enemies is my enemy because I'm here. It's just what it is. And you go against America, you're going against, I got 6 children live in this country. Why I'm a cheer for somebody to do something hurt my children and my babies? No, we're not going like that. That's why I don't teach no black revolutionary nonsense over here. You sit somewhere with a little pop gun talking about black revolutionary nonsense, and these people got real military might, and you just selling wolf tickets and putting black people in danger, barking at the monster. Like you not built like that. Like stop. And that's not revolutionary concept. Yeah, they crushing all them countries. No, I don't. I'm not. I live in. I'm a realist. I'm not. I don't do make believe. I don't. I don't do not. I don't never cheer against the United States because I'm here. That's the law. Wherever I'm at, wherever my family live, then that's what I'm defending. Period. I got to defend where my body is located at. My body is located in Chicago, Illinois. I must defend Chicago, Illinois. No, you cannot attack Chicago, Illinois. No, it just is what it is. If it's a country in Africa that want to go to war with the United States, then I'm gonna have to do that country in Africa dirty. Period. It's gonna be F you. You can't attack nothing. Now I'm here. You sound crazy. I do realistic. I don't do make believe. I don't do make believe. That's why I'm the realest alive. I only do real. I do real. I don't do make believe. I don't do, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an R&B singer. I don't be on stage. If I woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's what folks always say. If I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But it's always too late. I'm doing it now. Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know why I'm not doing no fake make believe hocus pocus shit. Come on, bro. The object of the game is stay alive. Stay alive. The man that told you already. You're going to always protect yourself first, your own self interest first, period. That's just how the game go. I don't care nothing about Venezuela. Go take it all. What the hell you want me to say? Say, like, if you could talk to Trump, what would you say? Uh, President Trump, I just have one question. Is it possible that gas prices will go down? Boy, if it hit down to 99, it's pumping like 99 cents a gallon, $1 a gallon. You know? Yeah. Yeah, a dollar a gallon, $1.50 a gallon. Vacation be sweet, boy. We'll be in the whip going to see grandma, auntie, everybody. Look, let's rewind. When the Venezuelans first came to Chicago, what a lot of haters was on here telling me. Yeah, I ain't forgot. I gotta do y'all dirty. The Venezuelans gonna get y'all. Okay, who just got? Venezuelans ain't gonna do nothing. I told y'all that. Did I not tell y'all that the VDs wasn't gonna do nothing in Chicago? Did I not tell you that? They ran back home. They gone already. I told y'all they wasn't gonna do nothing. They didn't want no smoke. Y'all really thought the Venezuelans could beat black gangs in Chicago? Y'all really believe that? Well, you probably ain't been to Chicago. Y'all really believe you ever been to Chicago? Y'all believe that the Venezuelans was a match for the South Side and the West Side of Chicago? Are you serious? Listen, let's not even take the South Side because the South Side is from downtown South. Just the Wild Hundreds. We ain't got to take the whole South Side. Just the Wild Hundreds. Just 99th Street to 127. Y'all believe the Venezuelans could have beat the blacks from 99th Street to 127. Y'all believe that? We ain't got to put the low end in there, the North Pole and the West Side. We don't even need them. Just 99th Street to 127. The Wild Hundreds. Y'all believe that some Venezuelans could have came and went to war with the Wild Hundreds? I'm just finna turn 68. I knocked down about 25 VDs by myself. Just by myself. Bro, you from the backwoods. Boy, you ain't, boy, you from the backwoods. And I'm about to be 70 in 2 years. Man, a VD up here, man, playing with me. Come on, man. All right, whatever. Man, they not built like that. They not really war tested. This kind of war, like game war tested. You know, war, you got to be tested. You have to practice war. Okay, you have to practice violence and shooting. You understand? That ain't nothing you just do. That's something you have to learn. You have to learn war and violence and stuff like that. That ain't nothing you just get up and do. That's something you have to practice. That's something you have to practice just like anything else, just like basketball, baseball, stuff like that. I told y'all them people wasn't going to do nothing. They was just running the game on them. They ran the game on them people. You think they gave them people all that money? Now what you think? They gave them all that money because they gave the VD, they gave the Venezuelans probably $1 billion. Now they finna go take how many trillions? How many trillions they finna take from Venezuela? You got to understand something about Trump. He ain't the best businessman, but he a hell of a gangster though. Oh, he rob and steal and take stuff. You know, he could do that. He just ain't good at investing, but he real good at taking. You know what I'm saying? His daddy was good at like y'all don't know these people. Y'all don't know the Kennedys and the Trumps and the Clintons and them. These people is gangsters. These ain't just she just ain't Nancy Pelosi. You got to know about the Pelosi's. These people is gangsters. They think way down the line. Just go back. Trump say, you're going to get a big tariff check. You're going to get a check, but ain't necessarily from the tariffs. It's from tearing a hole in Venezuela's ass. You finna get some money. Yeah, you're going to get a check. He gonna give you a check, but you had to wait until he go get it. Man, the Venezuelans, I was laughing. The Venezuelans going to do what? First off, everybody know. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about my compadre, the white man, white American man. That's my homie. Okay? See, the white man in America, me and them, we like this. We understand each other. See, a lot of black Americans stop underestimating white American men. Stop. Listen, y'all don't think that white American men knew it was too cold up here for Venezuela? They already know. They was sitting around saying, wait till winter comes. They already know. Your ass, they thinking, wait a minute. What's the temperature, average temperature of Venezuela? Ah, man. Wait till they get one of these Arctic blasts come through here. That's what they was saying. I be around a lot of white dudes. I can tell you the jokes they was telling. I could tell jokes they was telling when I was around. I was around, I got connections. They was saying stuff like, all these Venezuelans came up here, they should have bought coats. That's what they were saying. I swear to God, I was crying. I was spitting my drink out. Dude saying they should have bought coats. I said, hell no, your ass crazy. Well, I was crying. Boy, you should hear the Venezuelans joke, the Chicago Venezuelans joke. Boy, it was funny. Boy, you know how cold it get up here? This is the windy city, bro. You can't just Venezuela. Hey, Goshen, how good Venezuela's gonna do in Buffalo in the winter? With the snow, because the Buffalo get all the snow. It's been missing us, but it hit Buffalo hard every time. Man, can you imagine Venezuela up there in New York on the ocean? Listen, we live on the lake. You know how cold it is in the winter off the lake? All right, New York. You off the whole ocean. Do y'all know how cold it get in New York? Do y'all have any idea what a cold ocean breeze is like? They can't live in New York, man. They cannot live in New York. The Hispanics in New York been there, right? They not immigrants. They been there. Their blood is different. The Puerto Ricans and the Hispanics in New York got a thicker blood. They got a different blood. Your blood got to acclimate. Them Hispanics in New York, they different. They different. They not like Hispanics in South America. Them Hispanics in New York, they rough, man. They be on below zero weather. They're not the typical Hispanics. And then New Yorkers is a melting pot. So them people different. New Yorkers is different. They like a mixture of everybody. They all have adapted each other's, ways. So that's a whole different group of people up there in New York. You can't just leave Venezuela and live in New York. You just can't. If you listen, anybody from up north, no. If you're Venezuelan and you move to New York and you get some Timberlands, ain't your feet gonna be killing you after 2 months? Ain't their feet gonna be killing? Because everybody just can't wear Timbs. You got to have Timberland feet. Timberlands is hard on the feet, bro. You can't. You got to be a city. You got to be a hood rat type to wear Timbs. When you see New Yorkers with Timbs on, dude is hard. They hardcore. You got to have a certain kind of feet to wear them. These are boots. They don't give much. You can't just come from down there and just be wearing Timbs. They feet soft down there. They can't just adapt to American a culture like that. That's why they do good in like Arizona, place like that, California, Southern California. They could be kind of fine, but up north, Detroit, no, they won't do good up here by the Great Lakes. Oh no, that was a bad thing. And then they ain't gonna be able to make no money. It was all a setup. It was all designed to make sure that they couldn't recruit more soldiers, bring them this way, blow up that way, take that way, then send them back. It was genius. It was genius. Texas finna get raided. It ain't gonna hardly be. If you're a Hispanic in Texas, you're gonna have to have proof you've been there a long time. Cause all them Hispanics in Texas, they finna be out of here. The only reason they kind of pausing the immigration thing is because they had to deal with Venezuela. They had to concentrate on Venezuela. They've been working on Venezuela for about probably at least 2 months straight, maybe even 3 or 4 months, planning that move. So they had to focus a lot of meetings they was having. They couldn't finish dealing with ICE and all that. They really had to focus, especially when it got time to attack like they did. They had to focus. The United States government will be talking over here in public, but behind doors talking over there. So you listening to Trump, he's sending you off. Whatever he talking about ain't got nothing to do with what's really finna pop off. All them countries down there in trouble. Nicaragua, all of them, Mexico, everybody is in trouble. They're not just gonna go there and take the oil. They're gonna go there and set up a whole military base. Yes, they are going to set up a major military base down there. Because guess what else they need to do? They want to control the Panama Canal, where they trying to build it to go across so the Chinese can come. The Chinese looking like this, very smart. They playing chess with the Chinese, so now the Chinese got to come back to the negotiating table because Trump like, oh yeah, as far as Panama go, now you can't, no, you can't come down there right now. You gotta holler at me. You gotta holler at me because they beefing over the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal. When you look at South America, you pull up on the west side. On the east side of South America. They trying to clear all the way across so you could pull up on the west side, which makes it easier for Asia. The United States, like, that can't happen. So that's why they green light, let's go get the oil, let's go control the Panama Canal. We cannot let the Chinese knock us out the game with trading and come down there in South America and get stuff just because they don't want to negotiate with us. It's a lot going on. Because China's like, we ain't got to negotiate with y'all. We can get our beef and stuff from South America. Trump just said, can you? It's a lot going on. Trump like, can you? I'm going to shut that down too. Shut that down. The Chinese think they slick. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with these tariffs. They think I'm going to let them go to South America and get beef and all that? No. He's like, no, shut that down. So he had a lot of emergencies. The reason he had to do that. They got to come at the cartels. They got to protect the Panama Canal. They want to take the oil. They want to grow their food down there. They need somewhere to grow food. So they got like 9 or 10 reasons that they had to go. And they had to go now because the way they extending that canal. Good to see you. Right, salute every time, my brethren. So they had to go to secure that situation. It's a lot going on globally. You know what I'm saying? So I had a brethren. I'm glad Xavier came over here because I had a brethren. A lot of brethren was getting on me because I wasn't pushing to go to Africa. But what they don't understand is my elder Rasta said don't go. So some of these younger Rastas, they got to go straight. The elders said it ain't time. It ain't time. And you know me, I was gung ho. I was a young revolutionary. So I was always like, we got to go to Africa, man. And they used to tell me, Sekol my youth man, Ramesses, no man. They used to tell me, no, ayah, and not time, ayah. And I wouldn't listen. I wasn't listening until I kept and got older and said, oh, because Ross Kojo and Mortimer went with Haile Selassie, and Mortimer went to Africa to do an observation for Rasta. And he came back to Jamaica and said, no, it's not time. He told the brethren in Jamaica that Africa was worse than Jamaica. That's what he told them. And that the time wasn't right. And so brethren and sisters that's going to Africa right now, they jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. The time is not right. Now, if it's something you just want to do to see for yourself, then that's fine. But you rolling the dice, though. The problem with when it comes to blacks in Africa is blacks don't understand the value of Africa. You're talking about going and sitting on top of a bunch of diamonds and gold. It's more valuable than Venezuela and South America. And look at that situation. And if you got the motherland Africa, got all these natural resources, you don't think that people finna fight over that? Y'all don't believe Africa finna be invaded by China, Russia, and everybody to fight over them? Man, listen. That's gonna be a war zone. That's common sense. Africa's a future war zone. What we call Armageddon. Where you think Armageddon gonna kick off at? East Africa. So we just cease and settle, and we just waiting until the time is right. The time is really not right for moving around and bouncing around. Take care of your family, take care of your health. Sit still. Don't be jumping around out here getting involved with this world confusion, all this negative stuff going on in the world. It's too much going on. Sometime the Most High have you somewhere and you'll fight to leave. Find out you was where you was at for a reason. Wherever you at, you there for a reason. And right now we're looking at major war, because everybody got to find somewhere to grow more food. Everybody got to find oil. Everybody got to find natural resources. Everybody got to find a place to avoid the storms and everything. They trying to look where the storms going to be the most, what place is not going to hit the most. They also trying to look at the point where, hey, if we're going to take all these losses, we're going to have to quadruple our production. Because trust me, they know we're going to take losses. They see all these volcanoes. They see all this weather. They see this weather. Y'all don't think it's peculiar Trump don't speak on the weather and the weather been acting a fool in the United States? Y'all ain't noticed for years America highlighted the weather. Have y'all not noticed that in 2025 they say nothing about the weather? Y'all haven't noticed that? You had like 3 or 4 states underwater. They told the media, shut up. They ain't been saying nothing about the weather. On my feed, I was getting all this weather. They don't come on my feed no more. I had people coming on my Instagram and they was posting all these storms. They got them out of there. I was reposting them. They struck all of them. Even though I tagged the people I reposted it from, they struck them. Copyright, copyright. They didn't want me showing people all these natural disasters. So in the Babylon system, when they have natural disasters, they got to try to figure out where they gonna live at, where they gonna get food, where they gonna get oil, where they gonna station their military, because they have to station their military in a way where it don't get destroyed. When I left to go to Hawaii, I had met a brother named Shay Shay. We was in L.A. and he went first, and then me and my family, we was gonna come next. But then when we called him, I couldn't find him because a hurricane had hit the house, so he had to move. So I went right after the hurricane. I got to Oahu, where you got Pearl Harbor. And when I drove by Pearl Harbor, it was like 20 helicopters knocked on the side with the propellers broke. And when they land those helicopters, they got these metal clamps in the ground and they clamp the legs into the ground. The hurricane snapped the legs and the clamps at the Air Force base in Honolulu in Hawaii, which is a major Air Force base ever since Hiroshima and all that with the Japanese fighting the Japanese. So they made Hawaii a major base to protect the West Coast. Man, all them helicopters was knocked on the side and the blades was broke. So once that happened, real talk, from that point on, when I was in Hawaii and there was any threat of any storm coming, they would put all the helicopters on a big ship, aircraft carrier. And if the storm coming from this way, they would put all the equipment on the aircraft carrier and go that way until the storm passed. Then they would come back. Real talk. They updated how they was protecting their equipment. They move everything. If a natural disaster is coming, they move everything that could get damaged. If it's coming from this way, that's why they be watching. Oh, it's coming from this way. It'll be here in 10 days. They be done left in 5 days. In 5 days, they gone. They go far this way. Let the storm come through, tear whatever it tear up, so the equipment don't get damaged, like them helicopters. You know how much it cost them to fix them helicopters? Like 16, 18 helicopters laying on the side. That was something to see. I'm talking these military helicopters. These ain't little weather helicopters. These the real deals. All of them, they blew them all to the side and snapped them. That's how powerful Mother Nature is. So they battling that too. So they have to find more oil, more land, more places to grow, more food. They don't got no choices about survival. And they finna take the whole Americas. South America finna be a war zone. They've been planning it. They've been planning this for a long time. So when you see the United States beefing with Canada, that's why. Because they want to take Canada too. They ain't going to take Canada by force. They're going to make Canada bow down. This whole thing is going to be one government. What you're looking at in this picture. The only difference is add South America. The original plan was just North America. Now their plan is the whole thing. They want all of this. to be one government. Real talk. There's going to be all military warships, tanks, and stuff surrounding this whole border of this, all of this land. And you're going to be able to get on a train in Canada and go all the way to the bottom of South America. You're going to be able to get in a car in Chicago and drive all the way down. And there's going to be checkpoints, like borders, but they're going to be like checkpoints. Every so often, you're going to get to a checkpoint where you're going to have to scan your ID and your information. Where they're going to scan your whatever vehicle you're in and scan you to make sure that you can pass through. If you don't do what Big Brother tell you to do, then your travel access will be limited. In some cases, you'll only be able to drive in the United States. In other cases, you might only be able to drive in your state. In other cases, you might only be able to drive in your city. And in other cases, you might only be able to drive in your neighborhood. Depending on how egregious your what you did was. Whatever you did to violate Big Brother is going to determine. You understand? Real talk. They won't invest too much in Miami and Florida because they're looking at Florida as a disaster area. So they're gonna be pulling resources out of Florida. Florida finna be messed up. They finna pull resources out of Florida. Like homeowners in Florida ain't even getting homeowners insurance no more. They say they can't even afford it because the hurricanes is just making it where they can't afford homeowners insurance. They saying, well, we might as well just save our money and fix our home after the hurricane. So Florida, they're gonna move everything out of Florida. As the weather get worse, they're gonna be relocating a lot of stuff. They're gonna be moving a lot of stuff up into central Mississippi and Alabama. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be moving a lot of stuff. They're gonna try to see where it flood at, where the tornadoes at, and they're gonna be trying to move a lot of their stuff to whatever areas ain't having a lot of problems. That's why Chicago is one of their main number one money makers because Chicago don't get nothing yet. Chicago used to get tornadoes all the time, and tornadoes being flatland. Now I'm gonna tell you some interesting science. But then they built the John Hancock and the Sears Tower, and we don't get tornadoes no more because I believe that in nature, the Sears Tower and downtown is mountains. So because they built some man-made mountains, they can't get the jet streams. The jet streams won't float through Chicago because of downtown. Downtown's like man-made mountains. So the wind ain't flowing through here like it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we used to have tornado uh, drills at school, but we haven't had no tornadoes since one went over my daddy back when he was driving the bus. So now every time the tornadoes be coming, they'll come where it's flat, like Wisconsin up through that way and that side of Illinois. And then when it almost get to Chicago, they always be dissipating. The tornadoes been dissipating. The East Coast don't get anything either. That's why they like to invest in the East Coast. That's why Philadelphia, they're going to be investing more in Philadelphia, more in New York, New Jersey, Boston, all them places. They finna invest heavy there. They finna rebuild in all them places. All them places is where they finna move a lot of business to those areas because they don't get a lot of problems. The main only thing they mostly get is sometimes rain, and then they'll get like snow. But that's it. They don't be getting them tornadoes and them hurricanes. Yeah, I'm sure they doing it now, man. I could just imagine what they doing on the East Coast. Man, they finna take all that. If you got property in Philadelphia, you better keep it. Or you better not leave Philadelphia. Man, you better buy a house or buy an apartment building in Philly. I'm telling you, that's gonna be, hey man, that's gonna be some big money. They're gonna focus on Jersey and all. They're gonna rebuild all of that. They got to do something for the new growing population. Yeah, they're gonna redo all that. A lot of relocating gonna be going on, especially people live by those rivers. Those rivers keep overflowing, overflowing, overflowing. And like when I was growing up, rivers overflow, mess up people's houses to go down, flow. Finally, the people just moved. They're like, I can't no more. Your dad's house in Yup is worth millions, Yup. Yeah, some people was living by the rivers. They finally had to give up. Houston, I think Texas is not. I think Texas is all right. Uh, I think Texas is all right. Texas gets some tornadoes. I think right. What storms Texas get? They mostly get tornadoes every now and then, right? I don't think Texas get a whole lot of storms. I think the biggest problem is Texas is like droughts for the cattle ranchers. Water. They having a problem with water and droughts. They get hurricanes and tornadoes in Houston. Well, I ain't know that. They get the hurricanes and tornadoes in Houston. Hurricanes, floods, and tornadoes. Yeah. Houston, New Orleans. Houston might start getting hit too much then. If it's coming, it might increase for sure. And I gotta see where. Let me see where they located at. Oh yeah, yeah, they right there. Yeah, they right on the Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, they're gonna start pulling back to. They're gonna pull all that money back into Austin and Fort Worth and Dallas. They're gonna pull all that money to Dallas. Yeah, they gonna pull that Houston money to Dallas. That's where they're gonna pull that money to. Dallas, Fort Worth. That's where they're gonna pull a lot of that money. Even they might pull even more money to San Antonio, but for sure Dallas, because Houston is on that water and with this environmental stuff, it's just a mess. Los Angeles, LA. I don't know about California. Cause when I was in LA, hell, they was making you can wash your car and all that at one time. They be having serious droughts, man. They don't be having no water, man. They don't be having no water. They be running out of water in Cali. Yeah, they be running out of water in Cali. And before I left, and this is back in the 80s, they was coming on the block and they was sticking a pole in your grass. And if they pull it up and it was wet too high, it was a $200 fine. Hey, I swear to God, if your grass was too wet, too deep, 200. Second offense, 800. They was actually coming from house to house and sticking a pole in the ground and pull it up. So a lot of people in California, that ain't real grass. They start buying that. It looked like grass, but it's not. They start buying fake grass. A lot of people start doing rock, like rock displays with like a tree with a little grass around it with bricks. Yeah, if you look at a lot of homes, they start buying artificial turf or they start putting up uh, situations. That's what I was going to do at my parents' house. I was going to pull all the grass up. I'm going to buy no grass. I was going to just have vegetables growing and I was going to have like rocks and stuff. I wasn't going to have no grass. I ain't going to be growing no grass. I ain't growing nothing I can't eat. That's just stupid anyway. Grass is one of the dumbest things ever. If you got little children, grass makes sense in the backyard. But if you ain't got no children, San Diego is underwater right now. Oh wow. San Diego is beautiful, but I never liked living that close to Mexico. I didn't like San Diego. I lived down there. Like back when I lived in California, I moved my queen back there when she came back from Chicago with the kids. And I moved her back. She was from California, but she was just staying here for a while. And I moved her back to San Diego. And they had like a lot of schools and they had a lot of military. So certain time of the year, all the apartments would be empty. So they had a thing where you had to pay 2 months rent, you had to pay first month rent. Uh, 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 you only had to pay them $1 for your deposit, $1 and first month rent. So if your rent was 275, all you had to do was get them 276 and move in. That's how desperate they was to get somebody to move in because it used to be real transient as far as military be leaving. Dudes get out the military, they gone. People get out of school, they gone. So they had to constantly refill them apartments with students in military. I don't know if it's still like that down there. It's beautiful. I think San Diego is one of the most beautiful beach as far as like going to the park that's on the beach. I think it's one of the most beautiful in the country. I swear to God. I don't know if it's still like that. But San Diego used to have this beach that's the park. Man, that was, and it'll never be nobody out there. Hardly. It's beautiful, man. San Diego is beautiful. It used to be. I don't know. I haven't been there since the Mexicans really started invading. So I haven't been there because when I was there, the Mexicans hadn't took over yet. Their beaches are beautiful, but I don't know what's going on with Cali since the Mexicans took over. But that's what's going on with the Venezuelans. We're gonna see what's going on with the oil prices. And yeah, I like San Diego. I liked California for making money because I could make money all the way up and down. So that's what I liked about California. I liked California. If I moved to California, I want to live in LA because you can make the most money if you live in LA. Because if you live in LA, it's just only so long. You in San Juan Capistrano, 2 hours you in San Diego, an hour the other way you in Ventura, Santa Barbara up there. So you're right in the middle. So you can make a lot of money depending on what you do because you could just go to all those cities. You can actually work in San Diego if you live in Los Angeles. You just got to make that 2 hour drive. San Diego's overran by illegals right now. I'm sure. I'm sure LA is too. I'm sure I wouldn't like LA or San Diego or none of that. I'd probably I probably like Ventura, Santa Barbara up there might still be all right. I don't know. They might have took over the whole state. They let too many Hispanics in California. They're gonna ruin it. It's not because they're Hispanics. It's just they didn't let them acclimate to the lifestyle. So they're gonna turn the place to South America, Central America, because the Mexicans get a bad rap because them ain't Mexicans. That's another thing. Them ain't Mexicans. They just tell you they Mexicans, so when they get deported, they be close. Them ain't Mexicans. Them Nicaraguans and you know what I'm saying? Those Nicaraguans, El Salvadorians and shit, and they'll tell you they Mexican. See, like MS-13 down there in Nicaragua, they started in L.A. There's MS-13 in L.A. on some streets, certain streets in L.A., and then they deported all of them back to Nicaragua, and they took MS-13 to Nicaragua, right? Then now they coming back. But a lot of them people in California that's pretending they Mexicans ain't. That's one of the reasons it's so messed up because they can hide and pretend they Mexican. And the reason they like to pretend they Mexicans because when they get deported, they stay close. If you tell them you're from further south, you get deported. It take too long to get back. I met a black brother. He was from down there in South America, and he used to always tell me he was a Mexican, so he wouldn't get deported back home. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Why you telling me you're a Mexican?" He said, "That way I'd be close to the border. I can come back across." And sure enough, so many months later, I seen him. He was back. He was from down there in South America where a lot of the Rastas from. What's the name of that country? He was from there. You grew up over there where the MS-13 started. Yep, Olympic and Normandy. I used to be right down Jefferson and Normandy. That was the King Chambers hang. I was a stronghold, Jefferson and Normandy. That's where I learned how to make incense. That's where the Kemetic Egyptian brothers. That was our stronghold. Yeah, they messed. Man, they had a good thing going with L.A. and all that. They just messed that up. I don't know how they messed L.A. up. I don't know. I don't know. They had a great thing going, so they will never go home. Who? I don't know. It depends. I don't know. No, they don't be going home. They don't tell nobody where home is. They don't tell nobody where home is. So they can't send them home. They don't tell nobody where home is. My brother, they Belize, dude was from Belize. He was from Belize, and when they every time they catch him to deport him, he say he from Mexico because it's easy for him to get back. If you tell him he from Belize, they gonna send him too far. Laos wouldn't take none of their deported. They paid them 2.5 billion to take they 5,000 deported. America, America be just doing crazy stuff with the money, but they be going back and getting that money back though. They ain't giving nobody nothing. If they give you 2.5 billion, they sure gonna come get it back. If they give you $2.5 billion, they making some money there some kind of way. They giving you the same money back that they making from you. The American citizens be thinking the U.S. politicians throwing money away, but the U.S. politicians be doing stuff they just don't want to tell you what they really doing. They don't want to tell you the money they're making on the back end. They rather you think they throw money away than to know what they really doing. They rather you think they throwing money away before they tell you what they really doing. But this situation in South America is getting ready to get uglier. It's not over. And Trump already said anywhere where there's some type of dictator, they coming. So Africa, get ready. He coming. He coming. Nigeria, they finna invade the hell out of Nigeria. Nigeria, but see, it ain't Nigeria. Nigeria didn't do nothing. Nigeria didn't do nothing. They just don't want to tell the truth. They didn't want to tell the truth. The problem they got is the one with the red hat on. They feel like without the one in the red hat, they wouldn't have to worry about the one in the brown hat or the green hat. This man with the red hat, the United States want him out of there. And so do the French. They want all of them out of there. But the target A is the one with the red hat on. He brown. He's so Africa might as well get ready. It's going to be a lot of smoke in Africa. A lot of smoke in Africa. Yeah, West Africa. Yeah, they need Nigeria because that's where they're gonna set up the military base. Because the leader in Nigeria hate him too. Nigeria hate Burkina. Remember, these three pulled out of that organization they got in Nigeria. Nigeria had some type of West African organization. Remember, they pulled out. They pulled out of that West African organization because they said that dude in Nigeria is a sellout. Because Nigeria is a sellout country. See what I'm saying? Yeah, Escobar. Yeah, yep. Nigeria is a sellout country. So they don't like Nigeria. The rebels, revolutionary, they can't stand Nigeria. Nigeria is the sellout country. Nigeria is one of the biggest sellouts in Africa. They let Shell just come in there and do whatever, man. Man, they let them people come in there, man. Man, they let them people come in there, man, and trash their whole country and take all that money out, man, and ain't do nothing for the people of Nigeria. Man, Nigeria is like a hellhole. With all that money, Nigeria is supposed to be one of the number one cities in the world. You hear me? They got the biggest population. They got everybody left. All the brothers and sisters, they got the most doctors of anybody in Africa. They all had to leave. They had to import doctors because all their doctors left. And they let them people come and look what they did to Nigeria. So right now, Nigeria is toxic as hell. The people give it another 7 years, they're gonna be getting sick as a dog. Oil everywhere. So China gotta never let them see you sweat. So the Chinese not gonna do never do none reactionary. The Chinese do business with you and that's it. They are not gonna exert no military to save you. The only way China will ever use any military have to be for some Asians, like some Vietnamese or something. Then they will help they Asian brothers. But if you ain't Asian and you ain't an Asian they get along with, because they might not help the Japanese, but they will help the Vietnamese and the Cambodians and them. That's why America had to run out of Vietnam because the Chinese was gonna help them. They'll help them. But they ain't finna help you. You a Hispanic, you a Mexican or whatever type of person. We Chinese, we Asian, you Hispanic. No, we don't owe you nothing. Whatever beef and stuff China picking up, they gonna come with their military warships to pick up their beef and their stuff. And until if America try to stop their money, then it's gonna be smoke. But as long as China can still come down there and buy that beef from Brazil and all that, it's gonna be cool. But if America try to cut off China from feeding them Chinese, and they got over 1 billion people, then they gonna go to war. China made that clear. China made it clear. What was that? That wasn't so many about 6 months ago. China said, if you get in the way of us feeding our people, we will go to nuclear war. Period. China made it clear. We got 1 billion people. We have to feed our people. You are not going to starve our people. And if you do anything to take food out of our people, mouth, starve people, we are going to nuclear war. That's what China said. What's that, about 4 or 5 months ago? China made that clear. We going to war. We going to nuclear war. So let's not get it no twisted. None. If you get in our way and it affects us taking care of our people, we are going to nuclear war. Uh, the Chinese ain't finna go help. Listen. This is what I'm trying to teach y'all. Let's break it down to the streets. I'm buying birds, you buying birds, pounds, birds, and stuff. We got the big money. No matter what happens, we still gonna cop from whoever end up with it, basically. So you're not gonna get your pennies in a bunch because you got the money. So however this go, China gonna still be all right because they got the money. So they not gonna go jump out the window for no dictator down in Venezuela over no oil. They're not gonna do that. They got too much to lose. Those type of countries, they just don't put their men in harm's way in wars carelessly like that. Because none of this says anything about cutting off any oil from China. So until China sees where this is going to cut off oil for them and make them so they can't have energy and stuff, why would they, you know what I'm saying? World War III could happen, Robert, if you do stuff like start to cut off their oil where they can't heat homes for their residents and stuff like that. World War III is always a possibility if somebody crossed the line and do something that's extra damaging to the other country. Yes, World War III is always this close. But in this particular situation, big countries like that, they're going to wait and let the smoke settle. They're not going to react in the middle of all of this and make them look weak. If I'm the leader of China and stuff, I don't got no comment on this. This is how politics is done, y'all. I don't have no comment. Russia, they're not gonna have no necessary comment until they ready, until they see where the comment best benefit them. They can't act. They can't. Yeah, I'm working on it. They can't be acting all reactionary to this. As leaders, they leaders. So they can't give off the signal to their population that something is wrong. They gotta be like, nothing is wrong. Especially with Donald Trump. World leaders is not gonna react to Trump. Trump is doing all type of stuff. It'll make them look crazy, and then Trump will start pulling their strings. If Trump is the type of person, if he can get them to react, he'll be doing it all the time. The only way they can beat him is not react. They're not gonna react to this. Because at the end of the day, America gonna want to still sell that oil. The oil ain't no good unless they can sell it. So it don't matter who got it, they still gonna want to sell it. All they did is exchange sellers. They didn't take the oil away. Okay? For the people watching me. Dude was selling the oil, and now America's gonna be selling it. Trump gonna sell that oil. Trump gonna get that oil. He gonna use that oil to negotiate with China with the tariffs, and everything gonna be peachy keen. He's only gonna use the oil to negotiate Who wants oil? I got the oil. Give us a break on the cars. Give us a break on this. I give you a break on oil. That's how that's gonna go. It's a negotiation tool for America. And Trump's gonna use it to negotiate to get stuff for America. Americans is definitely gonna benefit from it. Because Trump is hell bent on making as much money as he can make and leaving office with Americans doing better. I believe he hell bent on that. He gonna get as much money as he can get from his family, but I believe Trump is hell bent on his reputation, and I believe he want Americans to just end up with a lot of stuff in about another year or so. So he could say, yeah, when I was in there, y'all bought houses, cars, and everything. I kicked all them losers out and got y'all the money. That's what I believe he owes. Because he's an egomaniac. He would love, Trump, the type of person, would love to give every American $10,000. He that type of person. I believe that. Because his ego, I believe he's the type of person, he would love to make an announcement. I'm going to give everybody $10,000. So they go, you the greatest. He love that, boy. He'll love that. That's what I believe. But come on. The guy in Venezuela was an asshole. Listen, this ain't no good guy. Let's start there. We left that part out. That guy was a wicked, crooked, dirty dictator. Okay? All right? This guy is a scumbag. Was eating while everybody else in Venezuela was starving. Okay? He wasn't doing nothing for the poor people down there. Why you think they all ran or came up here? You think all them Venezuelans left because it's nice down there? This guy is a piece of crap. So let's keep this real. He's a bum. So there's no way I give a damn about what happened to him. This man is a horrible dictator. Have you seen the Venezuelan jails and prisons? You see how they treat the people? When the Venezuelan criminals came up here, he wouldn't even send records to let us know which one was criminals. America, like, we got these Venezuelans up here. We got this guy. Send us his records. He was like, no. Facts. Guys was doing horrible crimes. The FBI and stuff was contacting him, trying to get their records to find out who they was. He said, no, don't send them. No, don't tell her nothing. Facts. He said, no, don't tell them nothing. If you had to live under Donald Trump's government or this guy's government, I bet you'll pick Trump's government. You would never want to live under nobody like this. This the kind of man take everything. This the type of man take everything and give you nothing. You got to understand that I got to respect Trump because Trump got more intel on him than me. So I get up here talking crazy, and then Trump could bring me into his office and say, do you know you did this? Do you know he did this to all these ladies? Did you know all these people was lined up and shot? Do you know all these people was hung? Then I'll be looking like a fool, like, no, Trump, I ain't know he did all this. See what I'm saying? When Donald Trump say this is a corrupt and evil man, he ain't lying. I know he's not lying. Venezuela, do that sound like somewhere you want to live? Why was the Venezuelan gang so horrible unless the leader's horrible? Them leaders down there is the worst leaders in the world. I'm telling you. Them leaders in Mexico and them South American and Central American countries, man, them the worst people. Them the worst leaders probably on the planet. I'ma keep it real. You see these Asian countries, they be all nice and everything. Man, South America's a hellhole. South and Central America. Them people down there taking all the money, ain't doing nothing for Mexico, ain't doing nothing for Nicaragua, El Salvador, Venezuela, none of them, Brazil. They ain't doing nothing for them people. They just taking all the money. Them people live horrible down there. Talking about come down there, passport, bro. But you had better do your research on where you going. Talking about it's nice. I said, man, you be seeing these videos, they talking about it's nice in Brazil. I'm like, don't y'all listen to that shit? Boy, you go to Brazil, you get your face cut from here to there. Boy, what? Man, listen, let me tell you something. If you move to a country, if you move anywhere, let's say you know somebody, they go to a country, they stay for a month or two, they come back and tell you it's this and that. They don't know what the hell they talking about. There is no country, no state, no city that you can know sooner than 24 months. Anybody go somewhere and didn't stay there for 24 months straight, they try to tell you about that place. Don't is full of it. If you move from Chicago to LA, it's gonna take you 24 months before you can realistically say LA is like this. Period. If you think you can go there and in 6 months give me information on LA, you a fool. You don't know who you're talking to. And the underbelly will not show up, most cases, till about 14 months before you begin to see what's really real. Facts. So you go down there and you move to them places, you go visit, you stay a couple months, you're like, I'm gonna move down here. You move down there and you live. And you live 1 year. Then you live 2 years. You're gonna be like, oh, that's a city or a country. Don't tell me you went to Africa for no year and try to tell me what it was like. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because in real life, a year is not a lot of time. 12 months is not as long as what y'all think it is. And then you ain't outside like that to really see what's going on like that. You understand? So it's not like you just standing outside every day. You in the house or wherever you live at. So you're only getting pieces of it. So if I move to France, I'm only getting pieces of France every time I go outside. So if I say I've been in France for a year, I haven't been outside in France for a year. I've been in the house for how many hours? So how long would I have to be there before I can actually say I was outside in France for 6 months? Well, that's gonna take a long time because it's 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8, that leaves 16. You're not gonna be outside no more than 2 hours here and 2 hours there, unless it's a weekend you hanging out. So what do you know from being outside at the most 14 hours a week? And it's 24 hours in a day. Make it make some sense. So you claim you know about this place. As a matter of fact, I went to LA. We stayed in LA, then we went to Hawaii. And we was in LA about a year probably. And I didn't know LA. I didn't know LA till I got back and was there a couple years. But you're talking about a place like Venezuela? Out down there in South and Central America where they grab girls and tattoo their gang on her face and deface her for the rest of her life. That's what they be doing down there in South and Central America. They'll grab your daughter and they'll tattoo the gang on her face and ruin your daughter's face for the rest of her life unless you ain't got enough money for no laser surgery to get that off your baby face. This how they function. Ask somebody about South and Central American gangs. Some of the most brutal people in the world. Pazzi will tell you he came up here and it was some Venezuelans at the beach. They gone. That's when they first got here. And me and Pazzi standing here and there's a Venezuelan dude standing back there with his woman. And I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to I'm hosting Pazzi and his family, so I couldn't really, because I ain't like dude. I wanted to get at him. I wanted to go home and change clothes. Because he was just there. You should have seen him standing out. He was looking. And you could tell the woman was a victim. Like his girlfriend, you could tell she was not with him by choice. And he was just standing there looking as evil as possible. And I ain't like him standing on no Chicago black beach like that, looking like that. I ain't like that. I wanted to come and deal with him. I don't like your face. I don't like the way I ain't like the way he was looking. So I kept looking at him. And then I kept saying, "Nah, Pharaoh, chill." Because I kept looking at him. I could see the second time he looked at him, I seen he picked up what I was on. Because he was out there trying to be like some Venezuela tough guy. Boy, you on the south side of Chicago. You see that lake? You know? Oh, so I did not like that dude. That was on Bongo Beach, 63rd Street Beach. Yeah, that was on Bongo Beach. I went back a couple months later, they was all gone. There was that one dude, I didn't like him. They talking about they come here and take over. The difference between here and there, I can't go there and take over because they'll come with the police against me. They police and their gangs will go against me. See, up here, our police ain't gonna go with us against them. But still, they couldn't take over no Chicago, man. Come on. How? It's one thing if we black, everybody black. I don't know who, what gang. I just know you black. But if you some foreign dude, how you gonna beef in a black city when every time we see a foreign dude, there go one? Like, bro, what? Like you can't even hide. You know, there go another VD. There go another VD. There, how you gonna hide in an all black city? And you want to come in trying to play, but you stand out like a sore thumb. And the other Hispanics ain't gonna help you. Because you're a threat to the Latin kings and now. They don't want you coming in bringing on another Latin gang. Oh, hell no. That's why the first places they had fatalities was over in a little village. That wasn't working over in little village with the kings. The kings was like, y'all can't, y'all Venezuelans can't come up here with that. I can't say what happened, but it was bad for the VDs. They're not gonna let you come up here. You what's the name of your gang? Fool. That's where the problem was gonna be with them and the Latin kings. That's where the problem was gonna be. And the Latin disciples and them. That's where the problem was gonna be. They would have had to flip Latin king. They would have had to flip. It ain't no way. Because you see, and a lot of people didn't understand this. I was trying to tell y'all that you see, the reason they didn't have no wins is because, like, when you go to jail and you go to prison and stuff, people is already there. So if they get arrested and they go to a state prison, it's a bunch of kings already, it's a bunch of gangs already there. So when you come, you the first one. So every time the first one of y'all come in there, y'all gonna get did dirty because your gang, how long it's gonna take before enough of y'all be in here to have y'all gang? So you ain't gonna have no backup. See what I'm saying? So you're gonna lose because soon as you come to the county jail, they're gonna be like, on the new, what you is. And if you ain't nobody, your gang ain't there yet. You one of the first ones get arrested, you're gonna get did dirty. So your gang never gonna get no time to build up where there's already gang. They never gonna let you build up. How? How y'all gonna build up and end up strong in state penitentiary? When as fast as y'all come in, y'all gonna get did dirty. Yeah, they gonna be in there alone. Like when I was in there, imagine a Venezuelan come in there and they say, what you is? And they be like, boom, I'm from Venezuela. And then Louis and them come back, the kings come back. I'll be like, what he is? They're like, man, he from Venezuela. He a king? No. Oh. He on the 5? He on the 6? No, they some other stuff. What y'all gonna do? You already know what we gonna do, Pharaoh. Boy, you what? You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing. You gotta be a neutron. Oh, you trying to be like another gang? You by yourself? Okay. That's not gonna work. You're gonna have to get in with the kings and them. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to get down. It's gonna go bad. That did never work. How they go? That's why they left. They was out of here because they didn't really come here. The Texas governor sent them here on a bus. They didn't come here on their own. They never would have came. They never would have went to New York and Chicago on their own. They put them on buses and sent them. And then they was kind of like stuck. But the first chance they got the hell out of here. The smart ones. A lot of them took that little money and went back. Now, Pharaoh, is upstate afraid of cart? What'd you say? Oh, let's take a break. Type that again. I'm going to answer as soon as I get back. Let's take a break and I'll answer that. Okay, let me see what you asked me. Now, Pharaoh, is upstate afraid of cartel members? No, hell no. No, no, cartel members, no. We don't have to be afraid of the cartel members. No, we work for the cartels. The cartel's gonna tell you, you gotta do what we tell you. You gotta do what we tell you to do. The cartel's gonna tell you, you gotta do what we tell you to do. Who remember when the Four Corner Hustler, when El Chapo paid the Four Corner Hustlers to knock off them Hispanic dudes that ran off with that work? If you get out of line, the cartels pay the Chicago gangs. Listen, all the work in America come from the cartels, right? How much money is the cartels making in Chicago? You think the cartels gonna mess up their money, messing with some handful of dudes that just got here? No, we know the cartel members. You know what I'm saying? I stayed away from the cartel members, but they know me. I don't know them. Let's put it like that. But no, I know people that know the cartels. Like I worked for the cartels, basically. As a matter of fact, I worked for the cartels, but it wasn't like directly. So, as a matter of fact, I went by one of my friends one time. He had something he was doing at a building, and he wanted me to help. He wanted me to help him deal with something that a gang member from the Four Corner Hustles was giving him a problem on the South Side. So he called me, and he wanted to know, by him being a foe, what's the deal. But he was under the South Side, and I'm up under the West Side foe. So I told him, well, I don't got no jurisdiction over dude like that, so it can't get handled legitimately. Now it could get handled, but it won't be handled through the gang like that. You know, now I'll handle it, but it won't be through, because he's like, no, I wanted to see if it could be handled through the gang. I'm like, oh, okay, because I could just handle it, you know, you know. But that's another story. So we got through talking. So he was in the building. So he said, let me go in here and holler at somebody first. So I'm with him. So we go to this other building. And then when we go in the building, the guy he was going to talk to was definitely the cartel. I was uncomfortable, right? I was uncomfortable because, of course, he know me, but I don't know him because they know the whole operation. So they know the whole operation, but I don't know him. So I wasn't comfortable meeting dude, right? And you ever met somebody for the first time that know you already? It was like that. So I was like, "How you doing?" He was like, "You know what I'm saying?" So it was like, uh, So when I left, I was supposed to go see another dude in the gang. But after that experience, I just went on to my wife. I said, I ain't finna go see the second dude. Because on the way to see the first dude, another connection. Because the first dude that got locked up, so I had another. All of them, everything comes through the cartel. So both of them is plugged with the cartels. Let's just put it like that. Most likely the same one. So after that experience, I didn't go see the second dude. I said, nah, I ain't finna go see him. Because he had just happened to call my phone. I'm going to see the first dude. He's like, what up, Ram? I'm like, what up? Who is this? He's like, it's me. I'm like, me who? He's like, it's me. I was like, me who? So I just hung up. So he called back. He laughing. It's me, so and so. Come see me. I'm like, I'm right out here. When I get through seeing my man, I'm gonna come see you. But after that experience where he took me in there, I knew that was a promotion. That was a promotion that I rejected. And I didn't go see the other dude. So like 2 days later, my mother called me because the other dude lived where my mother lived at, in that neighborhood where I grew up at. So 2 days later, my mother called me like, "What's going on out here?" I'm like, "What?" She says the FBI's, the DEA, the ATF, they got all the streets blocked off. They got blocks locked from here to the freeway. Got blocked everywhere. The second dude had got busted. Him, his brother, they grabbed his mama, they grabbed his baby mama. They found millions of dollars. They raided buildings in other states. Now, if I would have went to take that meeting, I would have walked right into the film. I would have walked right into the DEA and FBI filming. Some told me don't go back around neither one of them. But yeah, 290 is called a heroin highway. A Lone Ranger in Chicago, they call El Chapo public enemy number one. Public El Chapo was considered public enemy number one by the authorities in Chicago and the FBI. Yes, they are wherever the big cities at that do the major distribution. With Chicago, duh. They the ones that run everything. Yes, they bring it in. It goes to him, 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 and him. Then they give it to him, him. I'm one of the second hymns. My man's the first hymn. Then I'm one of the hymns. It was me, him, then the dude, right? They got legal businesses, everything. But for him to feel comfortable to take me in there to see him, see that's the green light for the young brothers. That's the green light. That's when you make your bed. You gotta make your bed light. Now you either gonna walk through that green light or not. So from that introduction, it was basically obviously he told him to bring me in there. He couldn't bring me in there without permission. That's a fact. But I think they could pick up my vibe that I was like, nah. I didn't want to go no further. I didn't want to go no further. I had made a decision. I just wanted to stick with the music business. If you enter the door, you good. But if you do business, is it a out? Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If I do business with them, then the vibe, then that's why you walking into mysterious waters. I don't know because anything can spook them, and then you can get one in the back of the head. So you doing business with them, all they got to do is get paranoid. You seen Casino, right? They got paranoid. Everybody had to go. That type of thing. So it's like rolling dice. You don't know what they gonna do. Let's say somebody start talking. It ain't me, but they don't know who it is. I might got to go too. So it's like wishy washy. Not to mention they might be watching him. So as soon as I make that next move, now the feds on me. See what I'm saying? It's a lot to this shit. It's a lot to it. So these young brothers, they be wanting to jump into that. They don't be knowing what they jumping into. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no world to play with. Stay out of that. Not to mention, I had a secret because I told you I was working for somebody, and neither them dudes I was talking about knew. Right? So my man didn't know I had another job. My other man didn't know I had another job. But the dude I went in there probably know. He probably know the other guy that I was working for. They probably is together because the other guy didn't tell me who he was with. But they like the same race of people. Let's just leave it like that. That had this brother with one of them, and this brother, people was running off with stuff, and my job was to go get it. So it was just I wasn't doing none of that no more. I had got out the county jail. I had a new queen. She had got pregnant. I had a new baby on the way. I started a record label. So I was out. I was out. So that was like Lucifer trying to pull me back in. America need to leave Venezuela alone. No, they don't. America gonna go in there and dominate it. They're not going over there taking their resources. It was their resources. I was already out. I had already made a promise. I had already, it's in my book. I was already asked by my guardian angel what I want to do, and I had already promised the Most High I'll do. And all I was asked to do was go in the music business. Go in the music business, and you'll beat your case. That's gonna be in my book. I was looking at 8 to 40 though. So I was looking at 8 to 40. So my mindset was already like an animal. I was already like the ultimate gangster, like the worst. because you can't wait till you get to prison and be a prisoner. So while you're in the county jail, you already develop an animalistic dog eat dog killer. I was already a killer type. So all this internet stuff, this is like a therapy for me to laugh and shit like that. I wouldn't be doing no laughing. If sometimes you watch me, you can see my PTSD. You see me cross over. I had to come back. You can see me cross over. You can start seeing me cross over to the dark side. I'd be having to come back. I had to come back like tell a joke or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like that. It's like a network. You know what I mean? I mean, they take care of you, but you might still have to do some time. You might do 4 years here, 3 year pinch here. But they pretty much make sure you get a lawyer to try to stop you from really getting just slam or bam, pretty much. It's just, I gotta wait till the book come out. It's just it's, but that's why I understand all this gangster activity going on with the politicians. So I understand, he said, the brother said, America need to leave Venezuela alone. They're doing Venezuela just like they're doing Africa. And that's where I'm half Pan African and half realist because they doing Africa the way they gotta do Africa. They gonna until the black man in Africa become a gangster and unite on some gangster stuff, they gonna keep punking them. So I don't like it, but the Africans ain't got their mind. They ain't no gangsters. So I can't really feel sorry for the Africans. It's a billion Africans, but they ain't Africans. And so if I'm the system and I look at y'all as Africans, but y'all don't look at each other like Africans, I can always run over you. Because I know you Africans, but you don't know you Africans. So in fact, you don't know you African. I go over and punk him. You don't care because you ain't him. Then I punk him. Then I punk you. In my mind, I'm punking y'all. In your mind, I'm punking Ethiopian because you're a Nigerian. In your mind, when I punk a different African, in your mind, that's not you. So that's why the Africans ain't gonna never win because they not Africans. So Africans can't win. Now I understand they right, they not Africans, but what's wrong with the brothers and sisters in Africa? In the world, you Africans, nigga. You was Africans. The world gonna treat you like Africans. So you gotta be Africans. This where foundational Black America, this where we come in at. Because people say, why we call ourselves the N-word? That's what we are. That's what we are. So we got to recognize that's how they look at us. So that's what it is then. If we try to pretend like they not looking at us like that, they looking at us like that, but you trying to act like you something. No, you get a nice job in a tie and you trying to act like you a Negro or something. No, use the N-word, period. But you don't want to be. You think if you say you don't want to be, right, you can't function. You say, why America always robbing other people? Why people rob people? I asked you a question. Why do people rob people? Headshot. You asked some good king. Why would people take your shit? Like if you went out right now with a big gold chain on, why would people take it? If you answer that question, we can get somewhere. Why would anybody take your chain? If you answer that question, we'll get somewhere. Well, then you answer the question then. If you know America doing it because they're evil, why you asking? So in other words, you know that, so you just asking a question, you just playing. See, he's just playing because he already know why people take people's stuff. See what I'm saying? So that wasn't an honest question. He bullshitting. Checkmate. See, Headshot King is bullshit. He know the answer, right? Because he just answered it. See what I'm saying? So if you know the answer, why you answering the question? Because you bullshit. You playing on the internet. You trying to say words. Why would they do that? See what I'm saying? I got the answer. He full of shit. He asking a bullshit question. That's a bullshit question. They taking the shit because they can. Plus, because you evil is not true. Evil's not the answer. That's the wrong answer. People take your shit because they can. Yeah, they rob you because they can. If they can't rob you, they don't rob you. When you go to school, the bully beat you up. Guess why the bully beat you up? Because he can. What's going to stop the bully from beating you up? When he can't. Do I think it's acceptable? Do I think it's acceptable? Or do I think you got to accept it? Because I don't deal with acceptable. I don't deal with belief system. I deal with reality. Your name Headshot King. My name really Pharaoh El-Aton. You got a fake name. So you don't deal with reality. You deal with make-believe. I believe if you get a nice car and you ain't paying attention, you're going to get carjacked. And I believe you're going to have to accept that. Now, if you're trying to talk some religious talk, go watch a church channel. You're supposed to be watching some Jesus channel or some religious channel because you're talking religious. Is it righteous? Is it evil? I don't do that over here. I'm the realest alive. I'm not the righteousness alive. I'm the realest nigga alive. And you find a fool, you bump his head. Welcome to the world, baby. Look, it's dog eat dog world. He knows it and we all know it. And he asked me a question that he, in his own city, he better be careful. He gonna get robbed. So he just bullshitting. He asking me like a make-believe question, like I'm gonna pull some magical question out. See what I'm saying? Why do people go to war? These is trick questions. Why do people go to war? You know what I mean? Soon as somebody start asking you stuff like that, don't even waste your time talking to them. You tell me. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it, headshot. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. So that's why it happened. Checkmate. Someone robbing the change of America, dropping bombs on civilians. It's the same shit. There ain't no checkmate. That's what you over here for? Oh, okay. Okay, he's over here trying to have a bullshit debate. He said checkmate, and he over here playing. He pitching pennies. He playing checkers. He talking about checkmate, bruh. You not even over here on no righteousness. You're not over here on no righteous stuff. You over here trying to debate, and I'm not gonna debate. Your name Headshot King. Now his name is shooting somebody in the head, right? Check this out. He's saying all of this people should be right. Now look at his name. His name is Headshot, which in the hood means shoot people in the head, right? Now he's saying it ain't right, but he representing shooting people in the head. You see the phony bullshit? His title represents shooting people in the head. But he over here trying to talk some righteousness. Why do people take from people? Why do people do stuff to people? It's not right. But you headshot king. This how you know the type of people you talk. Phony is a $2 bill. Phony is a two, and he ain't gonna kill none. He ain't gonna let none die. That man ain't gonna bust now shot nowhere. Okay, he not gonna do none of that. You think real G's that be out there be typing like that? He's a typist, bruh. Come back tomorrow. Yeah, come back tomorrow. Enough of you trolling. Boy, you ain't gonna kill none. You ain't gonna let none die. Talking all that righteousness in the headshot king. And ain't gonna bust a grape. The internet is tripped out. He got an evil name talking about righteousness. He got a name talking about taking people's lives. Ain't talking about why would somebody take somebody's life? You know? What a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? And that headshot king trying to talk some righteous stuff. So you cool with it? You cool with being a headshot king? Bro, shut up. Please, please, please. Okay, we get it. You're a troll. Okay? We see you, bro. You didn't have to mess up the chat. It's people like that got low self-esteem. They want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? That man get outside in some real stuff. He gonna run. He ain't really about that. He ain't no real killer gonna get on here and tell the FBI, I'm a killer. I'm a headshot king. I'll be shooting people. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. You can't make this, man. It's unbelievable. And he try to talk some righteous stuff. Man, this is not right. This is not righteousness. His name, kill everybody, right? I get a get a call. I call myself kill everybody back over here. Why they do them like that? They shouldn't do that. They should live better. Says kill everybody. I believe you can't make this stuff up. His name, Headshot King. Ain't gonna do nothing. We see you though, bro. I know some of you, but bro, if you want to be seen, use a real name so people can really see you. It don't really do us no good to see no headshot king anyway. Because most of us, when we hear that name, we just want to meet the head queen. Where's the head queen? Tell her to holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Later for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your compadre? You know what I'm saying? Where's the head queen? That's what we want to meet. We don't want to talk to you anyway. When we start talking about head. Yeah, we want to talk to you, pause. Yeah, we want to talk to the queen. Where the queen? Where the head queen at? We want to talk to her. We want to meet her so we can take her to the clinic so she could get her shots because she probably got stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I don't want her to touch me. You know what I mean? I want her to go get a tetanus shot, a rabies shot. You know, and the head queen take her to the clinic. She need to get checked for syphilis, gonorrhea, and all that. No, baby, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. If I gotta put on, if I gotta put on a plastic suit, uh-uh. No, I'm good, baby. You can keep that. Weirdos, man. The internet is crazy. Headshot Queen King. I'm the headshot king. Pharaoh, why they don't be on no righteous Jesus stuff? I believe, why this ain't no good. Why everybody ain't on righteousness? You know, you condone this ain't righteousness. Hey, your name the headshot king. What? This internet is something else, bro. Pick you a righteous name. Why your name ain't Jesus, Buddha, or something? Pick you a better name, like Christ cometh. That should be your name. Holy man. Go get you a holy man name that come over here with all the holy stuff. I know what let me tell you what his problem is. So many people, they eat off America, they live in America, they deal with America, and then when they see the gangster side, they don't like it. Okay? They eat off of it though. They live off of it. Every bit of gas America gangster, he gonna put in his car. You understand? So people have a tendency to not like something, but be supporting it quietly. Basically. So he wanted me to give some type of moral statement about people going in and taking everything from the Africans and robbing from the Africans. But nobody took from the Africans. The Africans gave the Portuguese their first slaves. And then the people wanted to buy them. The Africans invited them people in, smiling and grinning with people a lot of times. A lot of times the Africans was fighting other African countries and exhorting their resources. So now you look up and the Greeks come in, you'd already lost so many men fighting your own brothers and sisters that your army is a little depleted. So it's not like the Africans were super righteous like that. The Africans were not no righteous people. If, if you look at the black people and you look at them as being the founders and the first man, then how did man become evil? When you look in the scriptures, it said it was Cain and Abel. So what number? Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel. And it wasn't nobody there but them. So the whole thing is, if if Africa's the beginning of civilization, then the Africans became evil. But a lot of people that push Africa and push us as original people don't want to admit that if black people's original people, then black people was the first ones to start being evil. Make it make some sense how you wasn't first. And this is why a lot of them dudes that be pushing Kemet, they never show you the perverted hieroglyphics in Kemet. I can't even show them over here, some of them so foul. You think I'm lying? You Google it. Google perverted hieroglyphics and see some of them pictures and some of that LGBTQ stuff that they was doing in Kemet. Especially Seti, the Pharaoh Seti, which means I'm Set, I'm the devil. So all that, the white man and all that, that's all bull. That's nonsense. The white man didn't do nothing that everybody else wasn't already doing. That's a fact. By the time Christopher Columbus and them got over here, the Incas and the Mayans and the Aztecs already was killing each other. These is facts and was already had destroyed their civilization, had already been at war. Get one of your historians to prove me wrong. By the time the white European came here, not Keith Erickson, but Christopher Columbus, because Keith Erickson came before him. That's a whole other. Them people in South and Central America had already been unaliving each other before a European even stepped foot over here. They had big wars in South America and big wars in Africa. These are facts. And I'm going to do a live about this when they say Christopher Columbus discovered America. See, that's actually the truth. And I need to do that live tonight. It took me, this is some new knowledge that I just picked up. I had to think about it. Because what do the word discover mean? So if I live somewhere and nobody I live with don't know it's a place, check it out. Break this, listen to this. I'm going to do a live on it. I'm going to break it down. Listen to this concept though, Lone Ranger. Let's say I'm white and I live somewhere and nobody knows about this place. Technically, when I find a place, I discovered it. So they are misusing the word discover, because you could discover people. You could discover that there's people here. So I thought about that one day and I said, in terms of Europeans, he did discover America if he was the first one that found out they was over here. You see what I'm saying? But they said, well, it was people already over here. Yeah, but he discovered that they was here. Now I always was against how he discovered America that was out here, but I had to think about the word discover. The word discover, what does that mean? That means you're the first one that find out about it. So technically, Christopher Columbus did discover America for Europe. Technically, that's a new concept I just developed. I said, you know what? Technically, he really did discover it if nobody knew they was here. Because not only could the people could be discovered. Like say I live in a building. It's a big apartment building and it's empty. And I'm living there and I'm homeless. And I'm living in one apartment. I lived there like 2 years. And one day I decided to explore this big building. And I go up to the 5th floor and there's some people in the room. Technically, I discovered it. So if Keith Erickson discovered it, right? But everybody don't know, that next person discovered it for their people. Because you can't discover it for me. I got to discover it for me. So just because you find it, you discovered it for whoever you tell about it. But if I still don't know it's there, it ain't been discovered to me. So I had to start looking at the idea of discovery different. And then I see why Christopher Columbus get the credit, because Keith Erickson didn't really write, right? Keith Erickson didn't really write everybody about it. It was really Christopher Columbus, the first one that started communicating back with the Queen about it. Think about it. Who was the first one that really started communicating about it? It was Christopher Columbus, because he wrote They really friendly and everything, and it should be easy to conquer them. So in terms of sailing, because also people wasn't sailing like that. With Keith Erickson, the sailing wasn't up to par like with England. That's why they said the British Army, the sun never set on the British Army because the British and the Spanish was really the first ones out there moving. Then the British. So technically, Europe didn't know about America from Keith Erickson. The information of Keith Erickson didn't really reach Europe like that. Christopher Columbus was the one that was coordinating. That was when they started making runs back and forth. I think when Keith Erickson, when they would travel, then eventually they would get back and tell of their travels. But I think Spain and England was the first time they doing this. So then that would open it up for him to be considered the first one to discover, because he would be the first one that can immediately tell about it, because they was writing back and forth. They was having ships back and forth. That's how they was able to have the Revolutionary War, because the British was coming back and forth. That was the first time anybody was coming back and forth to the United States. People that came before that just came, but they didn't go back and forth. Keith Erickson didn't go back nowhere and tell nobody and come back like that. So I thought about it one day. I said, technically, I see what they mean when they said he discovered it. Because I was always thinking how you discover some people. But now I'm thinking, oh, that's wrong. You can discover some people. You can discover a land and there's people there. And yeah, I discovered it. I didn't know y'all was here. Nobody I live around knew I was here. Yeah, he discovered Greenland or went to Greenland. Now, I don't know if he communicated to anybody, because discovery to me would be based off of your communication when you get there. Right? So discover seems like it would be more about who let everybody know. To me, it seemed like the word discover would be like, who the one that went there and let everybody know, look, y'all, look what's right there. That would be discovery. If I went there and I didn't tell everybody, that would be I just went there. That wouldn't be discovering, right? Like when you think of the word discovering, you think of me finding something, say, hey, y'all, look what I found. Now, if I just find it, I don't tell nobody, technically that's not discovering. I found it. But in terms of the world knowing about a place, Christopher Columbus, the first one, let the world know. Because that was the only time they was going back and forth. Even when the ancient Egyptians and stuff was coming, they wasn't going back and forth. Going back and forth to these different places that we know about is not known until the Christopher Columbus era. That was the first era where men really started getting on ships and really started going back and forth. There's no history of men going back and forth before that era. Not that I know of. I think before that era, I think men used to be rowing on them boats. I think the only ones used to be moving was like the Vikings. The Danes used to be rowing around, but I think they used to just row around mostly Europe. I don't think they left Europe. I think the Danes rowed, from here to France to just within their area. But as far as crossing the Atlantic and going back and crossing and going back, historically, that's the first time people was doing that. So I thought about that and said, I get what they're saying when they said he discovered it. It don't mean that he was the first person there. It means that as far in terms of the world knowing about it, on record, he is the first one. He is the first one writing back and forth describing it. Keith Erickson didn't write describe nothing. Christopher Columbus was writing back and forth to Europe. Oh, is this, is that, is this. Nobody was doing that before him, not that I know of. who came here and wrote about it and start going back and forth. Because for years I was like, Christopher Columbus ain't discovered nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I was thinking from the point of view Christopher Columbus was taking credit for discovering it, but he wasn't taking the credit. It's the historians the one saying he found it, not him. So I was mad at Christopher Columbus for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the one said he discovered. The people he told about it said he discovered. They're like, Christopher is in this place. Oh, yeah? You understand? Because that's the first time they heard about it when he told them. Think about it. Because it was the Spanish, the one where everybody found out. They was really the main discoverers. If you know the history, because the British went out after they found out the Spanish was going out. The Spanish was the one went down there, found all that gold in South America. They was the first really. You can say they was the first explorers in a modern boating era where you go back and forth. Yeah, I know Leif Erikson came, but he wasn't really known for going back and forth. He was just known for going. So the first person that come here, would you call that discovering, or the first person that come here and let everybody know? Because a lot of people probably came here, but they wouldn't be considered discovering it if they didn't tell nobody, and if there wasn't no communication going back and forth. I'm gonna have to start giving the Spanish more credit because they was really the first ones going back and forth and telling about it. Now the Moors were going back and forth, but I don't see no evidence of them telling much or the right people finding out that they did it. But as far as the it making what we would call ancient news, I would say Christopher Columbus would be the first one that made the news about being in a new land. Yeah, because the Chinese probably came and went too, but I don't think it became like news. But I think the difference between the Spanish and everybody, as people would come and leave, I think they was the first one that came and left and came and left and came and left and came and left and came. They the first ones that really went back and forth and then came and then moved here. Know what I'm saying? Because we know the Egyptians came here, but they obviously didn't go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and then start moving here. Keith Erickson came, but I don't think he went back and forth. There's probably a lot of explorers that came, but when you really look at the Spanish, they would open it up for the British, the Spanish and the British. They was the first one to really start coming, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then just kept coming. When you look at the history, because if anybody else would have did it, the Native Americans would have been conquered already. So they wasn't conquered, so nobody had came and conquered them until Christopher Columbus and them. So there's no evidence of them being bothered by nobody until Christopher Columbus. Like when you think about it, there's no evidence that a lot of people started coming over here until Christopher Columbus. So in that term, he did discover. He didn't want to let everybody know. I mean, history looked like he discovered. Everybody came after he came. I had to change my philosophy because I had it wrong. Because I always think, Christopher Columbus ain't discovered nothing. But like I think last year or the year before, I came up with this ideology. I just thought about to bring up. I'm gonna do a whole live on this tonight. I'm gonna do that next because I just want to put that out there. I'm gonna have to put that out there because I've changed my philosophy on that. In terms of the world, Christopher Columbus absolutely discovered America. That's crazy, ain't it? I would have never said that. Sometimes you got to really think more deeper and you got to get rid of your old beliefs. Years, man. It was like Christopher Columbus is a dumb blasted lie, but Christopher Columbus never said he discovered America. That song is incorrect. They said Christopher Columbus is a liar, burned his spear, but now I realize Christopher Columbus never said he discovered America. The people that he told about it said he discovered it. So how you gonna call him a liar? But Bernie say he the first one who discovered Jamaica. But he said there was other Jamaicans there, but he was the first one to discover y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I could discover the people too. But I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking, well, if the people's already there, how you gonna discover somebody already there? That's what I used to think. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna find somebody that was already there? But when I think about it, I'm like, you can find somebody that was already there. And if y'all didn't know it was there, you discovered them. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about that next. Y'all just got there's gonna be people argue with me, but I think that's interesting. I think I owe Christopher Columbus an apology because he never said he discovered shit. That's another thing. I don't know why I was mad at him. I got no proof that he said he discovered America. Think about it. I don't got no proof that he ever said that. There's no proof that Christopher Columbus said he discovered America. And in terms of seeing it, it was the black dude in the crow's nest that seen it, that really discovered it, because Christopher Columbus was locked up in the bottom of the ship. So in terms of finding it, it was the black dude that really discovered it, because Christopher Columbus was locked up in the brig. They was finna make him walk the plank. They was finna unalive him because they felt like they was just out there wandering and he had them on a wild goose chase. But I could see how he get the credit because he the one did the communicating to the other people to make them aware. So I could see how he get the credit. Because it's not discovered until the other people know about it. It's not discovered when you find it. It's not discovered until you reveal it to the rest of the world. Discover, uncover. I don't know. I'm going to talk about that. I mean, yeah, we say, man, I found this new restaurant, right? And then if nobody in your hood ever went there and knew about it, and you went and you told everybody, technically, in their world, you discovered it. Oh, it's weird. Anyway, I'm gonna see what everybody gonna say when I talk about it. It's interesting, I think. I'm gonna change my thing on that though, because I think I misused the word discover. That's where the problem is at. Discover. I don't think I was using the word discover correctly. Because I'm like, how the hell you discover some people, baby? You know what I'm saying? I was like, how the hell you discover some people? But I had to think about that. We're gonna talk about it next, though. Give me about an hour or so.